Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome. My name is Danielle Hearn, and I am a Senior Learning Officer for the Zoological Society of London, which is a worldwide conservation charity. So we have two zoos, London Zoo and Whipsnade Zoo, as well as working in conservation of animals all around the world. And I am based at our Whipsnade Zoo site in Bedfordshire. It's a very large zoo of about 600 acres, which gives lots of variety to my day. And I'm part of the education team here. So today I wanted to give you a little overview of what my job involves as a conservation educator, how I got into the role, but also other routes into the role, because not everybody comes through the same pathway for this career choice. Also tell you a little bit about my job, and also for you to think about how learning is lifelong, so not to limit yourself by the choices that you maybe make when you're younger and feel like you're stuck in the same career path if you decide you need a change. So for me, I love being a conservation educator. Our role is really varied. We talk to a number of different audiences in the zoo, both physically on site, but also online through digital mediums, and also going out to visit people. But the audiences that we work for range in age from age around about 3 all the way through to post 16 and adult, and they could be from a variety of backgrounds, have a variety of needs. So it's really nice to talk to a wide set of people, all very different, all very interesting, and to feel that we're trying to make a difference with them, because at ZSL our mission is to have a world where wildlife thrives, and the way that we want to do that is informing people all about the wonderful animals and what they can do to protect them. So what actions can you take at home that will help to conserving those animals around the world? And we do that in a number of ways. One of the big ways that we talk to people are those school groups that come and visit us on site. And so working with them, we can either talk to them before they come to the site here for a visit that they just go around by themselves. We can provide them resources that help support them in doing that, or we can actually have them for a learning session here in the zoo, where we use a number of different artifacts such as skulls and skin to bring their science learning to life, but also to talk to them about the importance of protecting those animals and how they can do that. So for example, if we were talking about a session where we were talking about plastics in the ocean, we might talk about how we can reduce our amount of single-use plastic, or we can also talk about the problem with fish and having sustainable fish to make sure that those animals in the ocean have enough to eat without us taking all of their food. So there's a number of different messages that we give out to audiences depending on their age and what they can actually do to help. But that's really important to me. So I feel like not only are we inspiring people about a topic that they're all really passionate about, because who doesn't love animals? I certainly do, but also telling them something that they can physically do to help protect those animals, even if they don't live in the same country as them. And we also get to amaze people with amazing things from the natural world. So for example, how many of you know what this is? Okay, so how many of you would guess that this is actually a tooth from an Asian elephant? And being able to get hands-on with these kind of things and find out more about them. So for interesting facts like that an Asian elephant has 6 sets of teeth in its lifetime, rather than us that lose ours once and then they grow back once and then that's it. Just because of how much they wear them down, they have 6 sets. So learning those facts and seeing how memorable an experience that is for people makes my day really interesting and rewarding. As well as school groups, we might talk to family groups or adults on site. We also run practical courses where we're not only teaching people about the subject matter that's relating to their curriculum in school, but something that interests them in terms of practical courses. So what it's like to be a zookeeper or work within the zoo environment, because there are lots of different careers here, not just related to animals, that people can do. And being able to share that with people and show them that they can follow lots of different career paths to make a difference in conservation, other than working directly with the animals, is really brilliant, opening their eyes to those different options that are available. So the rewarding things are talking to lots of different people. What's the most interesting part of my job? I suppose getting to come to a wonderful site where there's so many wonderful animals each day, and seeing the amazement on people's faces where they've not seen these animals in the flesh before, which I kind of take for granted because I see them a lot. So that's really special, and it's a really nice place to work in terms of relaxation and well-being. but also feeling that you're making a difference. One of the more unusual aspects, I suppose, is that we get asked lots and lots of questions, unusual questions, ones that you can't predict, particularly from children that are younger. They come out with some really fascinating questions, and that means that it really challenges me with my knowledge, and sometimes I have to go away and look up the answers if I'm not quite sure. So it's challenging me to always learn more, because there are so many different species of animals in the world. So we're talking, nearly 2 million. I could never know everything. So it's always something that's challenging me to learn more and do better alongside those students that I'm teaching. And as we as an organisation are learning more about animals and how to protect them. How did I get into the role? So for me, I come from quite a different background to maybe some people in this career, in that I started off my career many years ago working in marketing. So I actually studied a business studies degree with marketing and went into marketing for technology companies and PR. Really enjoyed the communication side of it and talking to people, so knew that that's really what I wanted to do, but the subject matter didn't interest me. Now, I'd always had an interest in animals outside of work and loved learning about them, but didn't know what I could really do. But I knew, because I liked talking to people and I liked science and animals, that maybe I could do something with that. And I actually retrained and became a primary school teacher specialising in primary science. So that gave me the opportunity to teach children about lots of different subjects, but really engage them with science, enthuse them about following career routes into science, and bring animals into their curriculum wherever possible. And then as part of that, where I brought animals into our curriculum, I got lots of different third-party organisations to come in and work with the children. And one of those was actually members of the education team from ZSL. And when they came to visit, it made me realise that actually that's exactly the career path that I had been looking for. It married together the talking to people, communicating with children and adults, but also that love of the natural world and how we could try and protect it. So from there, I looked more into the role and was lucky enough to apply for a seasonal role at the zoo, which is one that you can do sort of temporarily over a fixed period. And during the time that I was working here, I found the role really fulfilling and definitely wanted to stay, and was lucky enough that a permanent position came up that I could then apply for and accepted, and therefore I became a permanent member of the education team here. So my learning background originally, so thinking about business studies, is not something you would think would end up in a conservation education career, but the choices that I've made have brought me to a role that I really, really enjoy. And because I'm really keen to learn about all aspects of zoo life and learn as much about how we protect these animals as possible, have an interest in the zookeeping side of things. And during the COVID-19 pandemic, was actually redeployed to one of our keeping teams. This gave me the opportunity to learn lots. That's been really great for me, communicating with our students on our practical courses that we do, being able to give them a full picture of everything that happens in the zoo. And therefore, I wanted to sort of develop my learning in this area more. So alongside a zoology diploma, I've also, I'm currently undertaking a qualification in zookeeping, which is going to enhance my teaching even further. So even when you're an adult and you're already in a job you love, learning more can really help you in making the way that you do that job the best that you can be, and that constant learning is really important for me. And it also shows you that even if you make a choice into subject matter earlier on in your life, it doesn't mean that you're stuck doing that forever if you find it's not something that you want to enjoy and you want to do something else instead. So our other different career routes that other members of the team have taken, some have backgrounds where they have done degrees in zoology. So science is really important. Whatever route you're going to take, if you're going to be in conservation education, you do need to know about biology and science. So that's really important, whether that comes through, starting off in an animal management area. So we have had keepers previously who have then developed their education skills and moved into the education side of things. We have people who followed zoology at university and then have looked at masters in science communication and then gone into education. We have other people who have originally worked in press and marketing for the zoo environment, after taking science qualifications, and then they have moved into the education arena because actually they wanted to more directly impact the people that they were talking to. So you can follow lots and lots of different routes in. What I would say is get some work experience in the areas that you're interested in to see if it is something that you want to do. Get as much knowledge about animals and conservation as you can. And definitely you need to start off with science originally as a basis for your understanding going forward before you decide which route you want to take. If you can get experience working with different organisations where conservation education exists and observing what happens, that would be really great for you as well. So I hope that's given you a little bit of a taste of an overview of what we do as educators and how I came to the role. If it's something you need to look into, please do. We're always happy to answer your questions here. But thank you very much for listening and for giving me your time. And I hope that some of you will help us in educating the public about conservation and helping us save the wonderful animals of the world in the future. Thank you.